Hello and welcome to the Park Life Podcast. My name is Mike. I'm a travel agent that specializes in all things Disney. This is episode 59 of the Park Life Podcast, and it's chapter 6 of our series of the history of Walt Disney World. Today, chapter 6 is going to cover the lost and forgotten areas of Walt Disney World. Some of these areas you may never have heard of, depending upon your age and depth and knowledge of Disney. Others might be very fond and near and dear to your heart, and I'm sure at least one of these, if not multiple, will touch you in a way of bringing back some fond memories and maybe a little sadness that these areas no longer exist. So let's dive right in. First and foremost is what's called River Country. This was Disney's first water park. So today we have Typhoon Lagoon and we have Blizzard Beach. The very first water park to ever come into existence at Walt Disney World was called River Country. It opened on June 20th, 1976, so about 5 years after the Magic Kingdom opened. It was the first Walt Disney World water park, as I mentioned, and it was located near Fort Wilderness Lodge, which is just outside the gates, a little bit distance from Magic Kingdom. It closed in 2001 because of the two newer water parks at the time, Typhoon Lagoon and Blizzard Beach. Disney just honestly didn't need three water parks. And the theme behind River Country was all around Tom Sawyer. Anybody ever go there, experience it? My first time to Disney World was in 1976. I do not remember River Country, even though it closed in 2001. That was something we never did. We did the other water parks, but never did River Country. The second lost and forgotten area of Walt Disney World that I will cover is Treasure Island, which was then renamed to Discovery Island. So in 1965, way back before the Magic Kingdom ever opened, when Disney bought land for Walt Disney World, it included what was called Riles Island as part of the Walt Disney World land purchase. On April 8th of 1974, the area opened up as Treasure Island. It was a nature preserve with free boat access. In 1977, they changed the name to Discovery Island. And then it did close on April 8th, 1999, primarily due to the fact that Animal Kingdom opened up. While it was in existence, it carried exotic birds, tortoise, gators, bald eagles, lemurs, and monkeys. So it was a really condensed, small version of what Animal Kingdom is today, primarily a zoo like exhibit, if you will. Next on my lost and forgotten areas of Walt Disney World is the Wonders of Life at Epcot. Remember this one? It opened on October 19th, 1989. And just as a footnote, Epcot opened up in 1982. So this was 7 years after the opening of the park. It did close in 2007 permanently. From 2004 through 2007, it ran seasonally. The theme of Wonders of Life was just that life, health, fitness, the human body, and nutrition. It had a number of attractions inside its building. Body Wars, I remember this one today. It was a ride simulator that shrunk us down to the size of a blood cell, and we traveled through the body. I remember as a kid doing it, and I wasn't really into science, and it was kind of creepy to me, but a fascinating way to help teach us a little bit about the human body. The next attraction was called Cranium Command. This was a show featuring Buzzy, who traversed the insides of a 12-year-old's brain, teaching us about the inner workings of the brain. Third on the list was called The Making of Me. It was a film about human development. And the fourth attraction inside the Wonders of Life was called Fitness Fairgrounds, an interactive interactive exhibits on fitness and health. So when you think about it, inside this one building called Wonders of Life were four separate attractions. I don't know there are any buildings in Epcot today that have four separate attractions. Suppose the land building, you can maybe say it has four if you consider living with the land and Soarin'. And then there's a little film theater room, and then you've got Garden Grill restaurant, the character restaurant. So if you want to consider that as four, you could. But from an attraction, ride, show perspective, I don't know that there are any buildings nowadays that have four in them. So they made the most out of that space of wonders of life. The next lost and forgotten area of Walt Disney World, I would say all of these are lost. Some of them might be forgotten, some of them may not be. But to me, this one is by far one of my absolute favorites. I still hope that they'll bring it back someday. But simply, that was at the Polynesian Resort, the Luau. When it first opened, it was called the Polynesian Review, and it opened in 1971 when the Polynesian Resort opened and the Magic Kingdom opened. It was renamed the Spirit of Aloha in 2003, and sadly, it was a COVID victim, closing in 2020 and never reopening. It was a dinner show with entertainment, amazing food, great storytelling, great singing, just the true spirit of Hawaii in that show. Something that I absolutely adored. And when you think about it, going to the luau there was a lot cheaper than actually going all the way to Hawaii to experience a Hawaiian luau. So something that my family loved, and I truly wish and hope that someday Disney will bring that back to the Polynesian. Of all of these things that are lost or forgotten, this one might be the one that I think has the best shot of coming back. And even at that, it might be 50-50 at best. Next on our list, this is maybe the shortest lifespan of a property ever at Walt Disney World, and that is the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser. This was an actual resort that Disney built and opened. It sat just outside of Hollywood Studios. It opened on March 1st, 2022. So this is a post COVID opening. So March 1st, 2022. It closed like in a blink of an eye on September 30th, 2023. So it was open for about a year and a half. The most amazing experience for the Star Wars diehard folks. Um, this had a Star Wars themed hotel experience. Again, it was the shortest lasting location of all of Walt Disney World, sadly. It provided a 2 night immersive live action role playing experience for the Star Wars enthusiast. Go in costume, role play, the whole 9 yards. For those that absolutely loved Star Wars, this was for you. The problem simply was twofold. One, it was only a 2 night experience. Secondly, and by far the biggest reason why it closed, it was approximately $5,000 for that 2 night experience for a family of four. That was just the stay, did not include park tickets to the parks, park hopper, any of those different things. So you can imagine the population that loved Star Wars got shrunk considerably to the population that loved Star Wars that had it in their budget to pay for $5,000 for a 2 night stay. I think Disney missed the mark on this one. They could have done this in a far different way, made it far more affordable, created it more like a deluxe resort where maybe your stays were $800, $1,000, $1,200 a night for a two, maybe a three, maybe even up to a 4 night immersive experience. I think that property would still be alive today and operating effectively and efficiently and profitably for Disney. They priced it a little bit different to open up a larger market of people that had it in their budget that love Star Wars and gave you maybe more than just a 2 night experience if you wanted to do more than that. Could have almost considered it like cruises on the Disney Cruise Line, where you have shorter night stays, maybe a 3 night stay cruise, a 5 night cruise, 7 night cruise. They could have done the same thing with the Star Cruiser Resort outside of Hollywood Studios at a more affordable rate, and that thing would still be operating today. It is now closed, but when it opened and operated, there was lightsaber training and then themed dining as a part of the immersive role playing experience. Now that it's closed, I believe Disney is going to simply use it for office space. What a tragedy of a kind of an attraction location that was well themed, well designed to turn into office space. Of all of the closed locations, that one to me is by far the most disappointing. Next up is an attraction that was also short lived at Animal Kingdom, and it was called Kite Tails. This was held at the Discovery River at the Animal Kingdom Park over by Everest. If you're familiar where Expedition Everest roller coaster ride is, just outside of the entrance there on the other side of the walkway is an outdoor theater with seating right there at the waterfront. Kite Tails opened in September of 2021, September 29th to be specific, and it closed 1 year and 1 day later on September 30th, 2022. This had Disney characters from The Lion King and the Jungle Book movies. It had 3D kites and wind catchers, all pulled by cast members on jet skis or wave runners out on the river. It was about a 10-minute show, and it showed itself multiple times each day. It was a daytime show. I walk by that area every time we're at Animal Kingdom, and I think about how much wasted space that is. And it's a venue that's just waiting for another water show to take place. I'd love it to be a nighttime water show. I think that'd be spectacular there. But if Disney doesn't think they can pull it off at nighttime with all the animals in the safari, I think they should bring back some form of a daytime show. Gosh, even if they did a daytime water parade, how cool would that be? With various floats on the water, pontoon boats, what have you, with different characters. I think that would be a successful opportunity to use that space, and people would sit and watch and enjoy it. One thing I think they would have to do though is add some sort of covering, awning, something to provide a little more shade in that area because it gets awfully hot in the summer with the concrete and the sun. But certainly opportunity to do something with that space that would be relatively inexpensive to do and popular for guests. Next up, this one probably hurts more people than any other closure that Disney has had, partly because it's recent, it was popular, it was fun for the kids, it was at Hollywood Studios, trying to tease you along to see if you can guess what it may be. If you're trying to guess and you're struggling, here's a clue: May the Force be with you. That was the Jedi training held at Hollywood Studios, right near the entrance to Star Tours. I almost said Star Trek. Star Tours, the original Star Wars ride at Hollywood Studios, MGM back in the day. There's a stage right to the left of the entrance there for Jedi training, the Trials of the Temple. This started on December 1st, 2015, and sadly was closed in March of 2020 as part of the COVID park shutdowns, and it never came back. All of the signage has been taken down, and so there's likely no hope for Jedi training to return, although it would be a simple ad to do so. This was an interactive show for kids ages 4 through 12 where they learned a little bit about the lightsaber, and then they got to possibly battle with Kylo Ren or Darth Vader himself. Very popular. Even today, we're 5 years removed from the closure of that attraction, almost 5.5 years now. And people today still talk about it, hoping that it will come back. I think there's an opportunity for it. The space is there. It's not being used for anything else. They don't do that. They need to maybe make that space a character meet and greet for Star Wars characters. But time will tell. So the last item on our list of the lost and forgotten areas of Walt Disney World goes over to what today is Disney Springs. Back in the day, it was called Downtown Disney, and that was an area that was called Pleasure Island at Downtown Disney. This opened on May 1st, 1989. And if you're in your head, you're thinking, wait a minute, I remember that date from somewhere else. Our previous chapter, I talked about the next sequence of parks that opened up on May 1st, 1989. Not only did Pleasure Island open up at Downtown Disney, but Hollywood Studios, which was called Disney's MGM Studios at the time, opened up on the Walt Disney World property. Pleasure Island was an adult themed entertainment area for adults for nighttime shows. They included themed nightclubs, restaurants, shops, and entertainment. They had Mardi Gras celebrations almost every night there. Sadly, this closed on September 27th, 2008. Honestly, this one though closed simply because of a lack of popularity. The draw for adult guests just wasn't the same. There were other things for adults to do. You had, obviously, most people had their children with them, so that prevented them from going anyway. But the loss of popularity is what caused this to close down. So this one's never coming back, in my opinion. They've repurposed that area for other shows, shops, restaurants as part of all of what is now Disney Springs. Don't see that one coming back. So I'm going to go back though and hit each one of these of what they were, whether I think there's an opportunity for them to come back in some form or fashion, or if they are gone for good. The first one was River Country, Disney's first water park. That one's gone. It's never coming back. You have Typhoon Lagoon, you have Blizzard Beach that are very effective water parks. So that one is no longer coming back. Treasure Island, that was renamed to Discovery Island. This was a nature preserve. It's not coming back, ever coming back. You have Animal Kingdom that took its place. Wonders of Life at Epcot. While the building still stands there today, there's plans for that building for future growth. It's not going to come back in its form whatsoever. That building will be repurposed at some point in time for something, but it will not be for Wonders of Life. I mentioned this one earlier, the Polynesian luau. I hope it comes back someday. Um, they'd have to do some construction there, rebuild the theater. But I think this is an opportunity for Disney to bring something back. Yes, it would cost them money to do it, but they make money off of the ticket sales for the luau itself from the guests. So that one to me is a fingers crossed, maybe a 50-50 hope. Maybe it's not quite 50-50, but it's more hope on my part than anything. The Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser Hotel is gone. It's not coming back. Disney is turning that into office space. Could Disney someday open up a new resort that is Star Wars themed? By all means, it absolutely could. I don't see it happening, but that's a possibility. But the concept behind the Star Cruiser is gone and it's not coming back. Kite Tales was next at Animal Kingdom, the water show, right by the water theater there on the Discovery River, outside the entrance to Everest Expedition Everest. That show probably is never coming back, but I still have hope that Disney will come up with some type of show on the water. Like I said, I would love just a water parade. I think that would be cool, inexpensive relatively for Disney to do. It would make use of that space. Jedi training was the next one on the list. Again, the platform or stage is still there. They could use it for Jedi training. It wouldn't take a lot to do. So maybe that's a 50-50. Again, might be hopeful on my part that it's going to come back, but at least they have the foundation to be able to do so. And then the last one was Pleasure Island at Downtown Disney. That's gone. It's never coming back. So, any adults who had fond memories of that one, you're going to have to find a way to build new memories at different experiences at Disney Springs, or on the boardwalk, maybe where there's some nighttime entertainment shows there as well. So that's kind of a wrap on the Disney, what was, the lost and forgotten attractions, shows, buildings, um, parks, whatever you may want to call them, resorts in some cases, that Disney once had. I'd be curious, provide comments in the chat. Did you experience any of these at all? If I go back through the list, I watched Jedi training. I did not, and none of my children did it. They just weren't into Star Wars as little kids. I remember watching the Kite Tail show. Never did Pleasure Island. Never stayed at the Star Cruiser. I don't ever remember River Country Water Park. I don't remember Treasure Island or Discovery Island. I do remember doing Wonders of Life at Epcot, and I absolutely do remember, love, and adore my memories of the luau at the Polynesian. So let me know. Did you do any of these? Experience them? What are your thoughts? Did you like them? Did you hate them? Um, which one of these do you wish they bring back? Be curious to hear your thoughts. But that is a wrap on episode 59, chapter 6 of the History of Walt Disney World. You can find me on these podcasts on the Park Life podcast channel on YouTube and on the Park Life podcast channel on Spotify. We drop these Monday mornings at approximately 5 a.m. Eastern Time. I also do a live Park Life chat on Tuesday nights at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on the YouTube channel, Life Podcast, as well as on my TikTok channel, Mike underscore Disney Travel. You can catch me at Mike underscore Disney Travel on TikTok, Instagram, and on YouTube, or on Facebook. You can catch me at Mike's Magical World Vacations. Would love to hear from you. If you have any questions, love to help you out. The lives on Tuesday night, we do Q&A. We do sessions on news that has been released, rumors, promotions, and then we play fun games. We'd love to have you join us. But that's a wrap for today. Thanks for joining me. Hope you have a great day. Better day tomorrow. And when you wake up tomorrow, remember it's a great day to be alive. See you again next time. Bye, everybody.